Welcome to Delta Waterfowl's The Voice of the Duck Hunter podcast. I'm your host, Joel Brice, with the final episode of our Duck Hunters Expo Series podcasts. We've saved a good one for the finale. Joining me is Kevin Goodrum, founder of RW Coolidge, a company rooted in family tradition and a deep love for waterfowling. From handcrafted leather game straps to sponsoring Delta's Volunteer Appreciation Night, Kevin's work reflects more than craftsmanship. It reflects passion and legacy. We'll talk about his unlikely path into duck hunting, how an affinity for nostalgia continues to shape the gear used by duck hunters today, and what it takes to make gear that lasts a lifetime and never goes out of style. With that introduction, let's get started. Kevin Goodrum, welcome to the Delta Waterfowl podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome to be here.
You know, I just realized that I've introduced myself and we've shaken hands before. I don't think I can screw up Goodrum. Did I get it right?
Goodrum is right. It is what it is.
I don't know what other way I would say it, but wouldn't I feel so embarrassed if we just went on?
I tell you what, the funniest part about that, people take a second look every time, and then the fun part is telling them that my father was a retired Pentecostal preacher.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. So
pretty fun.
You live in Louisiana?
We live in Mississippi.
Mississippi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of between Oxford and Memphis.
Okay. Why don't you give the listener just a quick overview? We're going to get into other subjects and learn more. But if you had 30 seconds to talk about RW Coolidge, what would you say?
We wanted to create a brand that was timeless, functional, and had quality. And kind of bringing back some of the simple aspects of hunting. And we want something that could be heirloom product to give to your son or your grandson, and something to build memories with.
Yeah. And just for the benefit of the listener, kind of the subject for this particular podcast, I love to promote the good work that you're doing, but also just kind of talk about maybe tie your company into a bigger subject in waterfowl and waterfowl hunting. In this particular case, you love Delta. You're a big supporter of Delta, so there's always a conservation, message between the two of us. But for this particular podcast, it's kind of is nostalgic gear and apparel making a comeback. It's kind of what we're talking about here.
Right.
So that's pretty exciting. To get started, I wanted to say that I'm told that your roots as a hunter, there's an interesting story there. And I honestly don't know much other than that. And so kind of what led you to duck hunting?
So my wife and I had just gotten married. We were living in Nashville. And our routine on Sunday afternoons was to go to a little restaurant near Vanderbilt. Mm-hmm. And then after we ate, we'd go to the Humane Society and play with some dogs.
Okay.
And this one Sunday, we walked through and a little brown dog started barking at my wife. And she took him out like she had taken 100 other dogs out to play in the yard and all of that. And as we went to put him back in the kennel, the dog reached up and just wrapped his front legs around my wife's leg. And I looked at my brother who was with us, and I was like, I'm going home with that dog. There's no, we're going home with it.
Yeah.
And we ended up, she wanted him. It's the first dog we ever had. And got him home, took him to the vet to do all the checkups and everything. And we said, he goes, do you know what you have? I went, yeah, it's a chocolate lab mix. Mm-hmm. That's what they said at the Humane. I said, we picked him up at the Humane Society. Turns out the vet was from Michigan. He goes, what you have is a full-blooded Chesapeake Bay Retriever.
Uh-oh.
Good luck. And that's all he said. About a year into keeping him, everybody knows they're kind of different. Turned a little different, and he wouldn't mind, wouldn't listen. We found a trainer that had been, I guess, relocated from Katrina, and he was from Louisiana, and looked around for trainers and found Jay, and I said, Jay, here's the dog. Just don't leave a mark. I don't care what you do. Just help.
Yeah.
And about a week into the training, he called me. He goes, Kevin, you need to hunt this dog. And I'm like, Jay, I don't even own a shotgun. I got a 9mm pistol. There's no camo in my closet. I'm not that guy. I play ball.
Yeah.
And he said, well, this one's good. Believe it or not, he's really good. And didn't think anything of it. My wife got transferred in her job to Memphis. I ran into an old school guy from Arkansas that thought it would be fun to put a city slicker in waders and see if they could drown him. And that's how we started duck hunting. I got out to the blind. I said, I've got a dog. And he just kind of rolled his eyes and that. And our dog's name is Bosco. So Bosco got me into duck hunting. And haven't turned back since. I think.
Did he turn out to be a good dog?
He was field trial. He was at the master hunter level.
Wow.
Obviously, we had to go through UKC and not AKC, but yeah, he had his field trial championships. And I was our booth is kind of across from the Fiocchi booth. He was actually on a commercial for Fiocchi back when we were hunting. He was
really?
on a dog stand, and yeah, so it was nice to look over and kind of smile and have some good memories about him. But
not too shabby.
He was a big dog. He was 27 inches in the shoulder, about 104 pounds. He could walk through a rice field. And the first guy that I met, and again, I didn't know duck royalty, if you want to call it that.
Mm-hmm.
First guy I met that even said something about him was Pat Pitt.
Oh, yeah.
And Pat was like, I love a long-legged Chessie. And so we got to hunt up at Langill Lounge with him, and pretty full circle, neat little story. But that dog, to date, if we totaled it up, I think we're in for probably, I don't know, $750,000 to $1 million.
Oh, jeez.
Just because of that dog. With
Yeah.
what we've done, we would have never started RW Coolidge if we hadn't had that dog.
That's a special dog then.
Oh, extremely
Changed your
special.
life.
Yeah.
In not so obvious ways. Without having that conversation.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I tell you what, we've had the opportunity to get other dogs. We've always stayed with Chesapeakes. Great community. Found some breeders that were really good. Mm-hmm. Had one of the largest litters of Chesapeakes in the state of Mississippi. 17. Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. After the first litter went out, they were really successful. One of the females was in Germany. She was a top 5 Chesapeake in Europe. Went to Crufts. Was actually retrieving foxes. Just amazing. The 2 dogs that we kept, the mom, Gabby, was our second Chessie, and then the first pup, Hap. Master hunters, show ring grand champions. Never would have gotten into that stuff either. And we got in it and got out of the show ring stuff pretty quick, but it probably wasn't for us. But the duck hunting, loved taking them. And I think we said it earlier, we've always talked about the one thing I knew about duck hunting after getting into it was if you don't have a good dog, don't bring him.
Yeah, that's quite true.
If a good dog is one that's in the blind and you don't know he's there.
Right.
And we learned really quick to make sure when we trained our dogs that was it. They'd look like a piece of furniture. There
you go.
And then they run through ice. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
That's good. I appreciate that story.
Yeah.
RW Coolidge, you are the founder and owner.
Yep.
What year did you start the business?
So we started the business in 2018.
Okay.
A friend of mine and I were on if you want the quick background, we were on a tree line over a bean field and sleeting ice. We couldn't open the paracord lanyard. It froze. The water froze, ice froze. Couldn't take ducks off, couldn't put ducks on. We were having a banger day. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a great hunt. And the gentleman that was with me was a little older than me. He's like, I remember when I was a kid, I would get to take the lanyard.
Oh.
And, with my grandpa, I would take the lanyard. But they were always leather, and we never had this problem. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, back a few years ago, I owned a shoe company. I know a little bit about leather. Let's build a strap. The first ones were horrible. I mean, just terrible. But we finally got what we thought was right and started producing them. And that's how we got started.
So the rest is history.
That's how we got started.
So
yeah.
2018, but I've heard it said that you kind of trace your origins back to 1927.
Yep.
And your grandfather, right, A. Coolidge Goodrum?
Yeah. So my grandfather was actually when I was growing up, I just thought he was a farmer and a preacher, and didn't know the back history of it. There was a history of where he was working with a logging company and a sawmill. He owned a sawmill, so kind of a jack of all trades. But he actually worked at a company called Brown Shoe Company, and he handled leather and designed leather for years. And as a matter of fact, my grandmother was one of the, if you want to call them the quality manager, she was a quality manager there. So we were always around leather all the time, and I never understood why we got the not popular shoes, but the really good shoes.
Oh.
And as you get older, I get it now.
Yeah.
And so Papa, shortest memories for me were riding on the tractor and sleeping on the bench at church. But there was a lot more that we kind of picked up through osmosis that we really didn't know.
Yeah. So does he have an influence on some of the craftsmanship and work that you guys do?
Again, we get back to the conversation of do you want it good or do you want it popular? And we always said when we were buying shoes and getting them, you needed to take care of your feet. You needed to make sure they were good quality, that they wouldn't wear out fast. And I think that probably led more to how we design product and how we build product today. I mean, we don't want it to break. We talk about customer service a lot, and in the industry, everybody talks about that. Our customer service, we have a little bit of a different take on it. If we send something out and it comes back that's bad, that's not customer service to replace it. The customer service is giving them a product that they know they can use every day and it not break.
Yeah.
And they don't think about it. We've sponsored a hunting YouTube channel for the last 3 or 4 years, and the gentleman that we sponsor, he called me the other day. He goes, you know what? We've carried a lot of product through our show. Yours is the only product that we've had 0 failures on through the entire show, and that's what we want.
That's customer service to you.
That's
I like
customer service. Yeah, service is let me give you something, let you use it, and then come back and find something else that can go with it. Then we can service you even more.
There you go. Little known fact, maybe everybody knows this. I didn't know this, but you were a professional chef at one point.
I don't think so.
Don't go that way?
No, my wife works at Williams-Sonoma, so I've had to learn to cook pretty quick.
Okay.
And we do some gourmet stuff at the house.
So maybe it's by reputation.
Probably. We have some friends. We live about 10 minutes, and everybody knows world famous Como Steakhouse in Como, Mississippi. It's right out the backside of our neighborhood, and we literally have friends that come over and bring steaks raw, saying, "Hey, we're cooking at your house tonight." Because we cook.
Well, hunting and cooking go so hand in hand, right?
It is. And I think that's what's really drawn me to the duck hunting community. It's about relationships. It's about having fun. It's about being able to talk. I could never deer hunt. I mean, my buddies, we could get on great land. I could see big animals. I could never sit there in a blind and not say anything, or not have that communication. And I think that's where food comes into.
Yeah, I think so. I think you talk about hunter recruitment. I think one of the best ways to recruit a hunter, take them, and then help them with that food prep, because there's so many good ways to make it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's you win people through their belly.
That works for me. I don't know.
I'm not going to lie. I was probably a 4'6", 40 guy. And after I met my wife and we started cooking, I'm probably a 10'6".
There you go. So RW Coolidge has become a very familiar name at Delta events.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, what inspired you not just to associate with Delta, but truly support the work we do. What is it that you like about Delta?
Again, I think the mission is good. Uh, we can talk about the words around whatever process you're putting out there every year, but at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is to leave the planet a little better than you got it. And I think having that mission that we see results from, it's something we want to be tied to.
Yeah.
It's something we want to. It's something we want to be a part of.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, so it's kind of timely. Last night, we have a volunteer here at the expo. We have a volunteer appreciation night.
Yeah.
Is it 2 years in a row that you've
2 years in a row
that you've
Yeah.
sponsored that? Just curious. You know, I think, what is it about the volunteer that attracts you to sponsor an evening like that?
Again, from the roots of my grandfather, my dad, kind of that servant leadership.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of the people that are on the front lines and doing the work and cheering them on and keeping them positive, the results that you want, you'll never find. And making sure volunteers are happy, obviously giving them some parameters, some guidelines about what you can and can't do and all of that good stuff. But watching people grow, watching people be successful with that, it's always been a part of what we wanted to do. And I think at the end of the day, that's our driving force. We can celebrate every vendor in here. There's some tremendous vendors in here, but our mission is with the volunteers.
Yeah, volunteers are the lifeblood of Delta. Yeah, we have programs that don't involve volunteers,
Right.
but one of the things I take so much pride at Delta is the volunteer, our chapters, and our chapters, they do raise money for the organization to support the work that we do on the breeding grounds and the hunting advocacy role.
Yep.
But they retain a portion of the funds to do local work.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's so exciting for them to see and make impact in the local community and for others. And I think it's inspiring. It inspires people to come into that banquet, join the committee, and do good work. And so thank you so much for attaching your support to the volunteer.
They have skin in the game.
They do.
And that's what you want. You want people that have that ownership. And we love helping people feel that way.
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, let's shift to the heart of your brand, and I'm just going to use one word: nostalgia. I don't know if you agree with that one.
It's legit.
Yeah. Why do you think duck hunters are so drawn to classic materials like leather and wax cotton?
I think a lot of it is the memories that were made. It's a connection. Even with what I have with my grandfather, it's a connection to a different time, something that usually is near and dear to your heart. I think sometimes we've got friends that we call them go-go gadgets, that every gadget that comes out they get. And then there's some that go, no, I'm kind of comfortable with this bag. I've had it for 20 years. There's something about sustainability, being able to continue to use it. There's obviously something from a family standpoint of being able to hand down product, and I think that goes hand in hand. You have that with guns.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing to hand your son the gun that you grew up with, right? And it lets him develop memories as well with it. So that's why I think there's some draw to those simple colors, those simple shades, the simple fabrics. And again, this product, the fabrics, the leather, is something that's kind of standard, right? It's not baked in oil or whatever. It's cotton. It's leather. It's cows and grass.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's for sure. So I mean, let's just say there's a lot of high-tech synthetic products out there. Who do you find? Is there a particular segment of the duck hunting market that you target, or who do you find is your best customer?
We really started. We started looking at an age group probably between 35 to 50.
Okay.
Someone that has had children or started a family already, But that's what we thought.
Yeah.
Uh, our demographic studies are saying something different.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really age specific. You're finding younger men and women that they love the product because their grandfather had it, or because it looks really cool and they could use it as a dual use, or they love the feel of it. They understand what it is. So it's really cross generations for that. So we've done a few different things. We were laughing. We put a pink and green bag together.
Oh yeah.
And somebody laughed about it, and I was like, you know what? Some of our people came up and said we want to take our kids to the beach. We're not going to lose that bag, and they'll have it full of shells. And I think that's gets back to the whole process of we want to make memories for people, and you can make memories at 20, you can make memories at 40, you can make memories at 60.
Well, it's hard to make memories with an item that fails.
Right.
Right? Because you replace it and you're off to the next.
It'll be a bad memory, and
be a bad memory,
and you try to kick those to the side anyway.
Yeah. Now I think when people think they want something that's highly functional, I think the trend is to go towards something techy, and not knocking anything down. I'm not saying, but describe to the listener how nostalgia and function.
Well, that's the biggest key when we're building our product. One of the things we try to use are, for instance, this fabric is actually an outdoor fabric.
Okay.
So it's waterproof. We can put colors to it. It stays functional, but to keep it together, we've gone and found some higher technology thread.
Oh.
That is waterproof, that can withstand a lot of work, a lot of movement. Our leather. We didn't shop at just a leather store to buy our leather. We actually worked with a tannery, and when we went down there, we said, we need leather for this, and they said, what do you do? And we just started showing videos of people duck hunting, falling in the water, and all of that. So we took the technology that industry had and built it into a higher quality leather. So our leather is, I don't want to say it's proprietary from a blending standpoint, but we have our leather done differently than anybody else.
And that has to really help with the performance and longevity, right?
We put it in there because we know that leather is going to be subjected to all the elements.
Yeah.
Ice, snow, water.
Is your typical customer mixing your items with, say, a Sitka item, or do you find just kind of head to toe?
You will see pictures on my Instagram page where I'm wearing Sitka and I'm throwing one of my game straps over my shoulder. I think there's a nice, easy blend to that. You can be technologically advanced and use that stuff and still have some of these nostalgic brands or feels out there in the field with you.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it's not a fact of trying to get away from that or run from it. We don't. We really like the advancements that you see in the technologies around all of our vendor friends. We just like the cool and easy.
Yeah.
No attention here.
Yeah. Kind of soulful, right?
Yeah.
It's like you remember those types of things. Do you see, I think your eye would be trained to this, but if you're looking across the show floor or a catalog, online shopping, are you starting to see kind of a resurgence of more nostalgic items?
I think the availability of those nostalgic items are there, and there's people that do the core items like this. They do it well. We talk about it all the time. It's not about gaining market share. There's plenty of market share for everybody to have a piece of pie, but you want to make sure that you put that product out well. But we're seeing turns back to solids. Away from patterns to a point, but we're also seeing from a nostalgic standpoint the old camo resurging back.
That is, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean that's part of it too, right? I mean the Army camo from the 40s and 50s.
That's what I grew up in.
You know,
Well, not the 40s and 50s, but
well,
I grew up
that
wearing
pattern,
that anyway.
yeah, that pattern. So, some of the digitized stuff that came out for military use hasn't completely made it over to the hunting industry, but there's a place for it,
Yeah.
and there's a market for it. But yeah, you're seeing some things. I hate saying I was a child of the 80s, so I grew up with every one of those neon 80s colored Oakley jackets that you ever see. But it was a turn. It started and it went really bright, and then in the 90s it got really dark. And the 2000s it started coming back a little bit, but not that bright. It's like, okay, we've seen that before. We really didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But there were pieces of those generational ideas that keep repeating itself. And if you look in fashion as a whole, about every 20 to 30 years something comes back. I really don't want to see parachute pants again.
Me either. Or Zumbas or whatever those.
Oh no, the zebra pant.
Yeah.
No.
We don't want those.
No, I've enough Dan Marino and Zubas.
That's right. I know it's maybe a tough question. Anytime you say pick one or pick your favorite.
Yep.
But what item that you carry just jumps to the top as this is duck hunting?
For me, I think it's our duck strap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we started with, but it's when we finish a hunt, we always take pictures.
Sure.
And we don't take pictures to brag about stuff. Well, maybe sometimes we do, but it's a place where when we take those pictures, that's a point that we can seal a memory in. So for me, seeing somebody with a leather strap, seeing how successful they were, that's from my distribution industry days.
Yeah.
Either the box shipped or it didn't. When you see birds on a strap, you were successful.
What do you think? I'm curious. What is your creative process when you're developing new gear? Because this is a kind of blending, form and function. But what inspires you when you go create new products?
When we started this brand, one of the biggest researching areas that we looked at were we'd watch old movies. We'd watch Jimmy Stewart movies, Cary Grant movies.
Yeah.
40s, 50s, and 60s. I've become just a junkie on military and war movies from the 1800s up through Maverick. So you like seeing, hey, what did they do back then that was functional?
Sure.
And then when we see some of these things, we're like, well, how can we put a today spin on that to make it relevant again? And that's kind of the start of what we do. We go back and we look at materials. We don't use anything but brass. It's extremely difficult to find it here in the States. I mean, there's probably 2, maybe 3 manufacturers of brass in the States. Everything else comes from the Far East. But it's proven, right? And the best part about that for us is when it starts to age, the patina is there.
Oh, sure.
And that's where, some guys will look at our straps and they'll be the regular brass and it's kind of shiny. But it's shiny. Give it 6 months.
Just give it a yeah. Take it out.
And it's that again. That lends to that story of I can use it. I can use it.
Yeah. Duck hunting has such a storied history, tradition. Are you starting to see a younger generation kind of gravitate towards some more traditional items? Maybe not a full kit of hunting gear, but are you starting to see kind of a resurgence in the younger?
We are. We're seeing a good bit of people that are really interested in we'll call them the basics. I mean, I've used zip ties to hang my gun as well. Everybody has. Functional, completely functional, but at some point people like, I want a little more. I want something a little different. And we're starting to see that. A lot of our clients are getting away from the paracord. They come in and they say, you know what, the paracord stuff's great. It works great on my shoulders. It's functional, but I really like that leather. It really it feels good, and that's that's kind of what we've been aiming for. We want people to kind of relate to something that was kind of past.
Isn't that kind of funny? Yeah, we're talking about duck hunting and duck hunting gear and equipment, but if you just look out at life, there's just trends, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when paracord bracelets,
Oh
paracord
yeah.
bells, paracord, everything, and that is kind of funny. I don't know if that was paracord that you were talking about, that you weren't able to open it up because it was
Yeah.
frozen, but
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's scary, but that was the exact reason. That's the exact reason we even started the company. We were like, this is frustrating. It makes for not a good memory.
no, and you know what? I lost my dad at what I'm going to say a young age. He was 57. I was 28 at the time. And, you know, so I really, really treasure
Yeah.
the stuff that he had
Yeah.
that I now, take out and plan on handing down to my kids. And, yeah, it is. And what's the one thing in common that allows him to hand those things to me
Yeah.
and so on is quality,
It's quality.
longevity. And though you get those heirloom pieces, and I think maybe you would encourage people to keep using those items.
I think, and that's one of the reasons we built a whole collection of product care line.
Oh,
I mean,
talk about that. That's important.
So we wax canvas is wax canvas, and it's exactly what it sounds. It's wax that is impregnated into a canvas, a cotton canvas. It doesn't stay there forever.
Hmm.
So there's a process of going through that and making sure that your bag is completely waxed, so it's waterproof. We have the wax blocks. There's a method to it, right? And you have to slow down. You have to slow down, and you have to pay attention to details, and that's what these fabrics and the leather does. You take care of it. It's a time again. My dad was a preacher. Shoes seemed to be a big deal for us, but I remember him sitting down, teaching me how to polish shoes. Kind of a hard thing to do in on clouds now.
Yeah.
But the leathers are still there, and I learned really quick that I could keep those pair of shoes for a longer amount of time and put my money in something else.
Yeah, I think when people think wax canvas, they think of leather. They think, oh, I have to do some form of care. But would you equate? Okay, it's not that it takes that much time.
Right.
But would it be fair to say that, if you something piece of gear failed, it takes time to go to the store. It takes time to get the new one. It takes time to break it in. Probably less time to maintain
Yeah.
it, right?
I mean, and it's again it gets you into the detail of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we've become as a nation, and this is a supposition, but we've become something that's more of a takeout or a to go, or to do something fast and get it here and now. And why didn't Amazon deliver it today when they should have delivered it 2 days ago?
Sure.
That I want it now mentality. This type of product, it gets you to slow down a little bit. It gets you to pay attention to details and be more thorough. As an operator and a leader in distribution, you had to have that skill set.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay attention to detail, and it's not rocket science, but
No.
you're upset when you ordered a green bag and you got a blue one.
Sure.
And that detail, that kind of detail runs through every job. It runs through every career, whether you're in distribution or you're in fundraising or you're in manufacturing. That you have to be able to pay attention to detail, and I think sometimes that gets lost.
I suppose it does. Curious, Kevin, any new gear, collaborations, direction coming ahead?
Yeah, so we started with these bags, and I'll tell you kind of the founding for these bags. They're the Jennings PE bag. We were at an Army surplus store because that's where you can find some pretty good history, right?
Yeah.
And these bags were actually based off of a personal effects bag from World War II.
Really?
So if the soldier didn't come back, unfortunately, their squad mates would actually pack all of their personal effects in this size bag. So can you imagine?
Tough to think reducing someone's life to a.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine putting all of your memories in that? I mean,
Yeah.
it was mind blowing. So we wanted to pay homage to that side. We love making sure our fans in Oklahoma State are happy or whatever colors are there. But that was the beginning of it. The fun part about this, you really want to test your duck hunting friends. Give them this and say, tell me 5 things you can use with this, but don't say shellback. And it's amazing.
Creativity that can
oh
come
my
out.
gosh.
For those that are just listening, Kevin has in front of him a drawstring bag, and it's about the size of an Nalgene bottle.
Yep.
I happen to have one here. They're almost identical. Probably fits in there.
Yep.
But that's what we're talking about when we're talking about kind of reducing a soldier's belongings.
Belongings to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we started with this, and we said, you know what? We probably need something a little bigger, because we know those guys in North Dakota. They kind of hunt with gloves on every once in a while. Yeah. And that's what we did with this. We made it a little bigger, so you can get your hand in with a glove.
Yep. So now that might be double the volume?
From a shell standpoint, 1.5 boxes of shells in the small one, three boxes of shells in the big one.
Not bad.
Not bad.
I thought you were gonna, Kevin. I thought you were gonna say because in North Dakota we don't shoot as well, that we needed more shells.
I was trying to be nice.
You're trying to be nice. You pivoted.
I still like to hunt up there, so invites are welcome.
Well, then you are welcome anytime. Just give me a call.
Those are 2, and we've just started a new gun line. Now, again, we're all shotgun guys. I wouldn't know what to do with a rifle. I won one last night at the event on a duck man, but I had to ask my friend at Weatherby. I was like, Kyle, what do I do with this? So, but we have a new gun sleeve out for rifles.
Oh, great!
And they're actually, it's padded in flannel, quilted flannel inside, so enough room to put a long barrel rifle in there with your optics.
Okay. And then I see on the table here you also have, I call it a ditty bag. My wife hates that when I say that, but
a DOP kit, ditty bag. DOP kit's actually
is it?
It's actually the military term, right? But yeah, toiletry bag. My wife, again, we talk all the time about bags.
Yeah.
And for all of our ideas of what we want to do, we keep telling people, you know what? Daniel Boone carried his ammunition in a bag.
Okay.
They've been carrying it ever since there's been ammunition. There's been a bag. So it's a take on it. It's almost like shoes. Again, back to shoes. The biggest advancement in shoes was when they identified a left and a right.
Yeah.
In 1600. That was it. So, yeah, it's a different take. It's a different look, and there comes to be some personal. Yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm. So that's what we do.
Well, I'm a very practical person, and just kind of for the listener, I see a lot of function and usefulness and utility in all of these products.
Yeah.
One thing I'll tell you what I like about the bags is there isn't a zipper.
No.
I mean, and you have high quality zippers, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, when I'm out there, it's cold. I don't want the zipper to get stuck. I don't want it to get frozen.
Right.
And I don't want to. You're right. It's cold in North Dakota, right? So to be able to open something without having to have that dexterity.
Yeah. We've done that. We've used magnets. Sometimes Velcro.
Yeah.
But mostly Velcro on the gun sleeves that we have, and magnets on our blind bags. It's you got to be able to use it.
Yeah.
If you're there fiddling around with a zipper, and you miss a run of cinnamon teal coming in, you're gonna hate it.
Oh yeah, I saw my first cinnamon teal ever just about a month ago, and so yeah, if I saw one coming through my decoys, I would be so frustrated if I wasn't ready.
I keep watching the videos of the group we're sponsoring, and I call them after every one I see, and I was like, why was I not invited on that hunt?
That's a fair question. That's a fair question. You need a
Oh,
firm hand with
Yeah,
your friend there.
Look, we're gonna. I said, next time we're probably going to have to renegotiate some of that stuff, and
Okay.
they were chuckling. So it's been a good relationship, but I love seeing the differences.
Mhm.
Just the the first duck I shot was a ringneck, and everybody was like, "Really? That was it?" And I was like, "You don't understand. The bill is there's 3 colors on the bill. They're beautiful. I barely see the little purple line around the neck."
That's always a weird one,
I-
calling it a ringneck.
Why,
It's
why
like
we call it a ringneck, but yeah.
that's not the most brilliant
No,
feature, but
and-
it's there. Kevin, I have two questions. Maybe one's a question, one's more of just looking for an answer. Before we wrap up the podcast, please direct the listener to where they can find your products, where they can go shop everything that you offer. And then the last one, maybe you can think about that in the back of your mind. If you could sit down with your grandfather and show him one item that you make, what would it be?
Wow. So you can go see our products at rwcoolidge.com. We try not to do a lot of wholesale orders, but we have a couple stores that we sell our products through. The Raggio Mercantile in Madison, Mississippi, fantastic. I'm telling you, if you're a guy and you're driving through Jackson or Madison, that is a go-to place. You walk in and you just feel more like a man.
Yeah?
I can't say it any other way. After you walk through there, you could look at your wife and go, "You can give me a gift from here for the next 20 years, and I'll be happy." Just a tremendous store, and again online at rwcoolidge.com. What would I show my grandfather? The first thing, I would probably, goodness,
I bet you want to go back to the duck strap, don't you?
I would probably go back to the duck strap.
How about the second one then?
The second one would probably be. It would probably be the gun sleeve.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was all about taking care of stuff. As a different generation, they had to take care of stuff. There wasn't jobs, right?
Yeah.
So you had to make things last. I think you would be proud of that one.
There's a a phrase that might apply here: buy once, cry once. But to literally buy a product from you, there's probably not a need to buy another.
Right.
Other than that's the thing of us duck hunters. You can only hunt for a short period of time. So the rest of the year you start thinking about conservation. You try to think about how do I modify my decoys or what kind of, that's a great piece of gear. And next thing you know, we're renting cold storage units to take care of our stuff.
Yeah. Now, we've been told that at some point through the production standpoint, you got to have something that's breakable so people can buy it again. That really, in the shoe industry, that was extremely true. We built women's shoes at the time, and our friends were like, they don't break, so you're not having ladies come back and buy more. So yeah, but we'll put different colors on them, and they'll need a different color.
There you go.
So we try to vary some of that with some of the colors that we're doing, and staying true to that line. But I don't want them to break. You come into life with that, with your name. We're putting our name out there, my grandfather's name. I want to make sure people understand that that's our standard. We don't want it to break. And if it does, obviously we'll fix it, but we don't want it to break.
Well, beautiful. RW Coolidge, please check him out. Kevin, thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
for the support that you offer Delta, both at the expo and throughout the year. We really appreciate and can't do the work we do without support from people like yourself.
Love doing it. It's a great organization, and I tell you, more than anything, these items that we help with, this isn't a transactional business for us. It's a relationship business, and we love it.
Thank you so much.
All
We
right.
love it too.
Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
You guys have a great week.